All right, this is Maurice Redd, the Everyday Networker on the road to six figures, talking with network marketers, home-based business owners, entrepreneurs across the country about what is the key to their success and how they've been making their business work. I'm here with a special guest today, our first episode with Robyn Mancell, who is out of California, and she is with a company called World Ventures. Robyn, I want to thank you for the time today, and I want to hear a little bit about your story. You have a great story in terms of how you got into the business, and I want you to start with that, and we'll kind of move from there.
All right, Maurice. Well, I've been a business owner for the past 15 years. Have owned several businesses, everything from fitness center, restaurant, to having my Series 6 and 63 license. I've been in sales, done that for a long time. And about 4 years ago, I was introduced to this industry. Didn't know much about it, but knew that brick and mortar was costing me an arm and a leg to run. So I decided I would take a look at it because I was very interested in the residual income of the business. And so got started just by talking to some people that I know, and within about 3 months I built my residual income, and within about 14 months I was one of the top 20 income earners.
Okay. And you also a single mom.
Yes.
3 boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should get an award for that.
Yeah, you definitely should. Yeah. And how was that in terms of getting started with a business like this, being a single mom with kids?
Mm-hmm. I wish I had found out about it earlier. Would have saved me a lot of time and heartache. But it was a challenge starting out in the beginning because my kids were still in high school at the time, and 3 boys. Just the fact of having 3 boys is plenty. But it just took some balancing. It was a balancing act that I had to put on. And but the great part about it is that my boys have seen me in business, and so they think this is normal. They really think it's normal to see mom running around and doing business. And then of course I'm in the travel industry, so they've been able to have the benefit of going on trips that, you know, the first half of their life they never got a chance to go on because I was so busy raising them that I didn't have time. So they love it. They love what mom does now.
Okay. Now you said you'd never been involved with the industry before, so you'd never been involved in marketing before you got involved with this company. And what drew you to it the first time, or what kind of brought you to it, you think?
Well, I've seen the industry.
You've seen it, but you weren't involved personally.
I wasn't involved in actually working the business. I mean, I just recalled I saw a high school friend the other day, and I just realized that we were hanging out at Amway meetings.
Okay.
But I thought we were just hanging out. I thought we were hanging out and, you know, eating food after. I didn't even know what was going on. And I have prepaid legal as a service. So, I mean, I've been in the industry. I've seen the industry as a consumer, I should say.
Exactly.
But as far as making money that I could retire on, no, I didn't know anything about that. So this is really the first time I've been in the business and working the business, and am proud to call the business my occupation.
Okay. Now, most of us, when we first get involved, you know, there's that first level of energy and high, and we are top of the world. We think we're going to change the world and, you know, save everybody we know. So talk about how you move from that kind of initial first, you know, a period of time to when it starts getting to the idea of it's a business, that, you know, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme,
Right.
that you actually have to put some effort and work into it.
So how do you go from ignorance on fire, which is how I got started? How do you go from ignorance on fire to really looking at it as a full-fledged business and seeing yourself as a business owner? It takes a little time because initially ignorance on fire is great, because no one can stop you when you're ignorance on fire. You believe everybody and anybody needs to know about what you're doing, and I'm not saying they still don't, but as you start looking at it more as a business that you can carry on for years down the road, that you never have to retire, you look at how you can extend the shelf life of your business and how you can build something even bigger, like how you can build a business within a business. That's what changes. And you start looking at different relationships with different people, and you start looking for the right business partners to do business with. So you do go from a state of ignorance on fire to, wow, this is pretty incredible what I have, and you really start looking at it as a multi-million-dollar business.
Now, we were talking earlier, and you were discussing the idea of the obligation to kind of tell or share with people who you know. So again, obviously you kind of have that, like, ignorance on fire, as you mentioned, to talk to people about this. But then also, how's that different than kind of getting people to try to sell people on your business, or you're trying to sell them versus kind of sharing with them?
Well, I'm I don't believe I'm trying to sell anyone anything. What I'm doing is I'm just sharing some information about something you may not know anything about. You might not know there's another way. If you have not ever come in contact with certain things, or you've never gone to certain places, you might not even know they exist, right? So all I'm doing is saying to you, here I am, you know, single mom, 3 kids, always worked either corporate America or have had my own businesses. I've been on every, you know, I am every woman. And so I'm basically saying, if a person like me can share something that I didn't know, you know, and I'm a pretty worldly person, if I didn't know these things, then perhaps it would be great if someone told you. And I feel like I do have an obligation. I do have an obligation to, I wish I could save the world. Unfortunately, that's, you know, a real big prospect to look at doing. But I believe that you do have an obligation, of course, to your family and your friends, who are probably the last people that want to listen to you. But I do have an obligation to share something that I think can change people's lives. You know, it's like, if you had the cure for cancer, would you keep it to yourself, or would you share it with other people, right? So you're just letting people know. You're not trying to drag them over the finish line about anything. You're not trying to drag them into anything. You're saying, this is so great, I got to share it with you.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. Now, also talking about mindset and what it takes to kind of make it to that next level. So you've had some great success, and you have a team of over 2,000 people or so in your organization now. What do you think is kind of that? Is there keys or kind of suggestions you give people to move from that, you know, getting to that first recognition level to the higher levels of the company, when you really start to build up a huge organization?
It's perfect.